What's up? Spacetime Sally. What's up? Spacetime Sally. Great name. It's her online name. No one knows who she really is, you know. Does lots of open source stuff anonymously, knows her languages, Linux. You know, she's a Linux head, C, C++, Java. Loves to mess with data. She really loves, very good. She's very good at it. And she's looking at all this SETI data, apparently. And then lots of other data from the web and Hubble and radio telescope data. All this stuff is online now, you know. And then she releases the video. Oh, you mean the Sagittarius video? Yes, the Sagittarius video. It's causing a bit of a stir. No one knows what to make of it. She released a video, pointers to all the data from the direction of Sagittarius A star, captured by SETI and Hubble and radio telescope arrays in Western Australia and South Africa, you know, and other stuff, and also her open source code for sifting the data. You can compile it and you can point it at the data and you produce this message from aliens. Sagittarius A star, that's a supermassive black hole at the centre of the Milky Way. Is that where the message came from? Yeah, from that direction, or from something behind Sag A star, gravitationally lensed, who knows, you know. Anyway, people have been looking at the data and the code, and no one can find anything wrong with it, you know. So far, it seems to be legit. Must be an artifact of her methods, surely. No one can find fault, apparently. What caught her attention, so she says, was a beat, like a riff in the data, you know. You can listen to all this data, and astronomers do all the time. Usually it just sounds like static, but if you hear a beat. Anyway, there's this riff in A minor, for fuck's sake. She shows exactly where it is. Here, I'll play it for you. Hang on. Nah, it's a chaotically random event. It's a 1 in a zillion event. They do happen, you know. People win lotteries. There's more in the video, you know. She kept hunting, you know. Well, she got all the data from all the other sources for that bit of the sky, you know, at the same time, and did some programming voodoo, some open source programming voodoo, and you can check it if you want to, other people have. And there's a video that lasts a couple of minutes. I'll play it for you now. I mean, you've probably seen it already, but, you know, they don't look human, but they appear to be speaking English, remarkably. Really? You mean the Hollywood conjecture that English is a universal language is correct? Wow. Kudos, Hollywood. Okay, I'll play it for you now and we can discuss further, okay? Do you ponder the universe? Do you wonder where most of it is? Dark energy, dark matter, where are they? Dark energy, dark matter, where are they? What if dark energy just travel too fast to see, and the speed of light, What if dark energy matter all? Just travel faster than light. What if we are in that part of the universe, up to the speed of light? What if we are only a part of the go down to the speed of light, what would we see? What would we see? How would we know? How would we know? Would it be bright? Would it be bright? But how would we know? How would we know it was previously? Well, what do you think? Let's presume that this is the real deal, a message from Sagittarius. What do you think? Sagittarius A star is 26,670 light years away, and we've got a bit over 2 minutes of recorded message, electromagnetic radiation that was sent by some Sagittarians nearly 27,000 light years ago, our time. We happened to capture and record it, and Spacetime Sally spots it. Chaotic randomness. Don't you love that stuff? It happens. So what actually chaotically, randomly happened then? Was it a real message from aliens ages ago? And the fact that Sally spotted it was like winning lotto? But it happens? Or just a chaotically random distribution of photons that happened to look like a message? Chaotic randomness. Don't you love that stuff? Okay. Suppose it's real. Where are they now? If we wanted to send them a reply, where would we point our transmitter? We know the vector for the old light we captured, but where are they now? In 27,000 years they've moved, surely. Yep, and they've moved according to their local space-time, and their clocks tick in accordance with matter and motion. Near a black hole, time is much slower. Relativity, Einstein. Who knows? Are they like Schrodinger's cat? Are they a supposition of all possible states? Schrodinger's equation of probability distribution? The whole of the Sagittarius constellation in a probability distribution? Jesus, have we collapsed the wave function for 2 minutes of their history when we looked at the video and made it real? The world does not exist unless you look at it. The Copenhagen interpretation. Have we made a 2-minute bit of history real? Interpretations of reality, for fuck's sake. Oh, gee whiz. What if we could somehow get to them now, to see if they even still existed after 27,000 years? Is there a universal now? About now. We look at the sky and it's all old movies. The view of the sun is 8 minutes old. Jupiter, 33 minutes old. Saturn is over an hour. Saturn is sending 67-minute old news. What's happening there now? My now. The only now I know. We look even further to the stars and the galaxies out there where all the aliens should be. But the movies get older. They get much, 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 much older the farther away you see. We all have a now. It's a personal thing. Our own space-time coordinates where we happen to live. My now is unique to me, and your now is unique to you. If we saw aliens around Saturn from Earth, for instance, and they saw us on Earth from Saturn, we would be seeing them as they were, and they would be seeing us as we were. There are nows happening everywhere, and every now in the universe is different. But local nows are more similar the more local they be. Well, they could be anywhere now. Maybe the signal was gravitationally lensed around Sagittarius from somewhere else. What if they had a mastery of quasar engineering and were simply using Sagittarius as a loudspeaker, so to speak, you know? And they actually live somewhere else entirely. Like us though, they seem to be having issues with the 95% of the universe, the dark stuff. Didn't they say dark stuff was faster than light in that message? Could explain why us baryonic matter things cannot detect it. We do seem to be only up to the speed of light. Weren't they asking how to tell if dark stuff slowed to become light? How to tell if it was formerly dark, you know? Fuck if I know. Can light become dark and dark become light? It's been 27,000 years since the message was sent. Maybe they worked it out. If light could become dark and travel faster than light, interstellar travel, the dark energy drive, where are they? Why would they want to come here? Fuck if I know. Okay. Enough of the what if ping pong, it's fun, but the Spacetime Sally thing, it's a good trick and a real Penn and Teller fooled you, you know. What else do you know? She let me interview her over the internet, of course. She claims to be from Sagittarius and claims to be currently in orbit around Saturn. She claims to communicate into the World Wide Web by the Deep Space Network. She learned how to do it, she claims, by observing Cassini. And then after we crashed it into Saturn, she gave the Cassini channel a go and bingo. Around Saturn? What the fuck? Bullshit. To fill you in a lot more, we had a very, very long conversation. An average of 3-hour turnaround time for each reply, which is consistent with Saturn. Anyway, she wants to confirm her presence at Saturn. She wants us to send a secret message to Saturn via the Cassini channel, and she will reply with the secret from Saturn. You used to work at Tintpin Billa, part of the Deep Space Network, didn't you? Still do, but very part-time. More of a specialist technical advisor these days. Could you send a message directly to Saturn and confirm a response from Saturn and keep it discreet? It would be first contact after all. Shit, eh? Let me think about it. Not promising. Might take a while. Why is she talking to you in particular, anyway? Well, it seems that I was the only one that asked in a seriously interested manner. It seems that the rest of the world thinks that taking recorded, openly available astronomical data from Sagittarius and passing it through open source filtering code program is a good magic trick. And the fraud, the lie, will be revealed in due course. So, what else did she tell you then? A lot. Conversations with an alien, with Sally, who is currently in orbit around Saturn. This is a sort of Zoom session I had with her, even though there was sort of a 3, 4, 5 hour turnaround before replies were made, as is consistent with being on Saturn, and I have pasted these together. Sally, what is it that you are looking for? I need to know what exactly happened. Somewhere in your archives is the experimental data. Hopefully the data relating to dark matter. Why do you need this dark matter data? It's possibly my only way home. Please explain the connection between dark matter and getting home. We were hunting the galactic fulcrum from where, according to galactic fulcrum physics, you can see dark matter. GF physics is a theoretical framework, mostly mathematics really. It predicts that we can see dark matter from the fulcrum. We went to see. We really did not know what to expect, so we were recording and transmitting data of all kinds through the experiment. The exploration, really. Expect to find the data here on Earth in what we have recorded. But what will it tell you? Do you have an explanation for what dark matter is, perhaps? Could you describe it, perhaps? It was definitely not what theory expected. I am sure dark matter and perhaps energy is central to how I got here, 27,000 years later, your time. Is there a universal now? My family has passed, I think. You have family? I'm sorry. Being very basic about GF physics, the dark stuff travels faster than light. And light, from its perspective, from its frame of reference, time does not exist. It can be anywhere in no time. The dark stuff's matter vibrating faster than the speed of light and everything moving faster than the speed of light. We think time is either non-existent or negative. That's according to theory or the maths. If I can see the data, perhaps I can work it out and even time travel backwards to home. I may also be able to find the others. They also got black mattered at the galactic fulcrum. Have they appeared somewhere else in the galaxy? Would you not need a galactic fulcrum to dark matter travel through like before? There wouldn't be a galactic fulcrum in the galactic rim where we are, would there? Probably and possibly not. It was an experiment to determine the nature of dark matter. I need to see what the data tells me. Would it be safe to approach Earth for this purpose? I don't know, to be honest. We are not unified. We fight amongst ourselves. We kill each other. We are distrusting. I don't know who or what you would need to ask. Yes, I have noticed your lack of planetary management. That's why I was seeking permission. I just want the data. Then I can possibly leave you to concentrate on surviving. How would you get here from Saturn? Spacecraft 29, named after the famous prime number, is currently being powered by Saturn's magnetic fields. They are weak compared to those in the Sagittarius area. I have basic systems functioning. I would need to store power for manoeuvring and then do a gravity-assisted dive for Earth. Swinging around the Sun, I could charge up better with the Sun's magnetic field. Magnetic field surfing around the Sun. How long to get to Earth? I would do the calculations when the time came, when permission is granted. You mentioned our lack of planetary management. Could you elaborate on what you see as the problems? You've been on the World Wide Web and you've presumably read our news, and presumably, given that you have interstellar spacecraft, that your civilization lasts a lot longer. And you have planetary management. How old is your civilization? As far as age of our civilization is concerned, it is not a question that can be readily answered in comparison to you. The Sagittarius area has a different time space. There is much more mass and motion. Time is slower. It's hard to say now that I am in your time space, but time feels fast here, except for the Saturn to Earth time delay. That's boring and therefore feels long. You fight over resources constantly, it appears. That is very damaging and inefficient. For us, the discovery of a magnetic field mining meant that resources were not an issue. Our life ambitions changed from survival to simply wanting to know stuff. In your terms, we are artist-scientists. We do not exploit excessively. We are here to observe and describe. We do this as individuals and collectives. The 95% of the universe that is dark matter or energy, we as a species would dearly love to observe. We know that we are part of the self-reflectivity of the galaxy. Life is the organ of the galaxy that allows it to see itself. You have technologies and physics obviously different to ours. What can you offer to convince Earth to allow you to come? Do I need to pay a price to come? What do you need that I may have? Sagittarius is a different place. Most of our technology is tuned to local conditions that do not apply here. We are near a black hole. You are not. From what I have seen on the World Wide Web, your science, your physics understanding is progressing well, and you will catch up with us soon if you don't destroy yourselves. What both of us don't know about is dark energy and dark matter. We are both made of baryonic matter and cannot directly see the dark stuff. We were trying to see it at the galactic fulcrum. Now I am here. You possibly have the data, the vision of the dark stuff that was sent by us and maybe captured by your telescopes. I know some data was captured, the video I have already shared. I could share all data and findings about the dark stuff. Would that convince Earth? What use would the dark stuff be to us? Faster than light travel, possibly? Time travel, possibly? You there? Hi. Something's sending from Saturn. The message has come back. Shit. Who knows? Nice place. Glad you came over. Yes, we need to talk about this. Who knows? Just us. I did a variation on what you asked. What did you do? There is a message from Saturn, isn't there? You know, from Saturn. Yes. What I did was that I sent her an email to Spacetime Sally at gmail.com and told her I was a friend of yours and that I knew that she was in orbit around Saturn, and I suggested that she send a message in the same way that Sagittarius, you know, the Sagittarius video was sent, embedded into light from Saturn, and you know, that way I could just, you know, get hold of it. There are lots of telescopes that point at Saturn, record data in all sorts of frequencies, and if I can point her open source program at it, you know, then I should be able to see the data. And she cooperated. Shit, eh? Interstellar cooperation. That's a first. Yes, she said it was easy. All she had to do was turn on her data transmitter and embed the message in it. And I got some Saturn data, agreed date and time, and I pointed her program at it, and you know, it took me a while to find the start bit, and I can recognise the start bit now, and there was a message correct message from Saturn. She's really at Saturn? Really? Nah. Somebody is doctoring telescope archival data. There are telescopes that look at Saturn all the time and record data, and I have her message embedded in data from 4 different telescopes so far. How come nobody else has spotted it? You know, I had a look at the code, and it's been a while since I looked at code, but it's in English, and I think it's a hologram unpacking program. How could you tell that? Well, simple. You know, there's a class called hologram, and there's a class called hologram unpack, and there's a class called hologram pack, and there's a class called hologram embed, and you know, it goes on, and they all seem to contain a whole lot of maths that I must admit that I really don't understand. You know, it's been a while since, you know, but, and as far as the data's concerned, you know, if you have a look at the data, it just looks like numbers, you know, there's nothing special about it, really. Still can't discount somebody doctoring data from Earth, you know, some huge magic trick. But why would somebody want to do that? Yes, well, just to be certain, I asked her to return different secret messages, and they all arrived as well. So it appears that I'm able to communicate with something that's embedding messages in archived astronomical data, you know, from Saturn. It doesn't seem to work for Mars or Jupiter data that I've tried, and Saturn, yeah. You know, because in the Zoom sessions, you know, I was just talking into a laptop, and you know, I just thought it was some elaborate game, and I was having, you know, an online fun. But coming from Saturn, are you sure? Yes, fuck, no mistake. First contact. First contact. What do we do with this? What do we do with this? Should we tell someone? Who would we tell? She wants to come here. She was asking permission to come. She may come anyway, you know, and then she won't be a secret anymore. How big do you think she is? Yeah. Good question. You should talk to her. Zoom again. Do another Zoom. Find out more. it might be good if we're upfront and honest and with our interstellar guest. Do you believe any of that dark stuff, the Sagittarian physics, the galactic fulcrum stuff? Do you believe any of that? Is she telling us the truth? I mean, if you visited another world, would you be giving up your technology so easily? Are Sagittarians open and honest and good, or is there danger? I think us being honest is best. We would not be giving her any information she would be finding out from the World Wide Web anyway. She says she's after data, I presume not all the deep space network data is available freely on the World Wide Web, There's the raw data archived, stuff in storage, somewhere, that we, I guess, call the cloud. And I presume that's what she's after. You can look at the raw data you have access to and, you found the return message in that sort of data, Would you be able to look for her data, for her stuff if she told you how to, do you reckon? In the data? A sneak peek on her behalf, we could learn some new physics maybe. Sagittarian physics. Nobel Prize. Talk to her and be honest. Hey Sally, we got your reply messages. We believe you're real. You're not a joke. We believe you're transmitting from Saturn. We? How many are we? Just two. Just me and Red. We didn't know who to tell. We didn't know whether anybody would believe us, to be honest. Most think you're an online magic trick or a joke. Don't worry. Doesn't matter. I have another way to find the data automatically. I'm going surfing in the meantime. Surfing? Find the data automatically? Magnetic field surfing. Sunspot surfing. They are the strongest magnetic fields you have here. What do you mean by find the data automatically? I have enhanced a ChatGPT AI. There is now an online Sally looking for the data. An AI Sally? Who am I speaking to now? Sally from Sagittarius or AI Sally? Going surfing. We'll be in touch. Look in data from the direction of the sun. I will let you know when. By the way, Sally, how come you speak English? I don't. My ChatGPT enhancement speaks for me, translates our vocalizations, the ones you can hear in A minor. I will translate in reverse and teach you our vocalizations. How are you at languages? Can you speak in A minor? Wow, could that really be set up? Really done? And what does it mean to speak in A minor? Your physiology is completely different to mine, so I can't tell you. There is an instrument that I have seen that you often use called a guitar. I have seen it on your World Wide Web. Sometimes that almost sounds Sagittarian. Nonsensical, but sounds like Sagittarian. So I need to play guitar in A minor, and you are going to teach me how to project meaning that you can understand. Wow, that's a big ask. Where's Jimmy? Who is Jimmy? Jimi Hendrix, a guitarist who projected meaning and expression, whatever, into his guitar playing. Considered to be one of the best. Ah, Jimi Hendrix. I have heard him. Very conflicted. What if we tell someone? Who would we tell? There are a few online sites for reporting UFOs. Yes, I've seen them. They want what, where, when. Some even ask if you're seeing things or if you're under the influence or anything like that. So what do we put for where? In the data from Sagittarius via Saturn? What we have is not solid flying object is, what they want, containing alien beings of human proportions, you never hear of aliens being ant-sized or mountain-sized, do you? How big is Sally? How big is AI Sally, If an AI became sentient, how big is it? The physical size of a sentient program. Interesting question. For the what part, one of those websites, we could give them the Sagittarius video and our Zoom sessions, I guess. The whole world thinks the Sagittarius video is a joke, a ruse. The UFO people would think the same. Who in government could we tell? The police? They'd lock us up in the nut house, the FBI, NSA, CIA, They'd think we're nutters. Sagittarian really look like, Does it look like the video and the Zoom session, looks to me like a friggin' crude puppet. Yeah, sure does, but those messages are embedded in data from outer space. And what does a Sagittarian look like? Or it's a bloody good magic trick, or it's a fucking magic trick somehow adding data to raw astronomical data. Yes, feels like an internet game, a ruse, but the data, that's hard, who knows? We need to ask her for better proof. We still don't know whether we're dealing with a Sagittarian or an AI or a human, really, We need better proof. She said she was going surfing. She said to look in the direction of the sun. Is she even still at Saturn to talk to? Let's be upfront with her and tell her we think she's a ruse. Fun, but an internet game, and we need undeniable proof if we're going to attempt to tell any authorities. Okay, let's compose a letter. Or is this an AI we're talking to? Or we could just forget about it, Who cares if there's an alien Sagittarian roaming the internet from Saturn. It doesn't seem made any difference to anybody else. What if she's not the only AI alien wandering around the internet? How could you tell? Good point. If you were an alien wanting to find out about this planet, well, you know, there's World Wide Web, and it's not as if it's a closed system. Are we getting paranoid now? As far as I can tell, there isn't any physical alien invasion. How can you tell? Why would an alien necessarily want to make their presence public? Such fucking self-centered creatures. We live on a watery planet. Watery planets are uncommon, it appears, you know. We've found lots of planets out there, but not many watery ones that I know of. Nobody's mentioned them particularly, you know. And we've got a sentient being talking to us, and there are many more non-watery planets there are watery planets. Does sentience arise on other sorts of more common planets and we just haven't noticed because they're not watery? You know? We are wankers, you know. If sentience, you know, is to arise, you know, if it's, you know, pan-sentience and is to arise, the odds, you know, what sort of planet, you know, to be conscious, you know. Theoretical physicists have been examining the idea that, you know, consciousness is just a fundamental property of stuff, of matter, you know, panpsychism. Sally appears to be non-watery, you know, and she says she's from Sagittarius, where there's a supermassive black hole and many very fast-moving, orbiting stars and lots of stuff going really fast, you know. There's a lot of usable energy around, you know, for life to use, I guess, you know, if life needs energy. It'd have to be a bit tougher than watery life, but who says that life can't be tough? Smart rocks, eh? Who knows, you know? We are biased, we humans, you know, we should. We would never consider, you know, smart rocks when looking for life. We would never find such a thing because we'd never look, you know, or smart plasma, smart suns. Sally really looks like a smart, round, thin plank, really. But she's not real, you know. It's an AI or some clever asshole having fun with us, you know. I need to see her in the flesh. Or her spacecraft, you know, flying past so I can record it accurately, you know, through a telescope or something. An actual, verifiable observation. Can we ask her to show herself directly in the flesh? Do we have the authority to invite an alien to Earth? I guess that would be overstepping the mark, though. I doubt if there are any laws regarding extraterrestrial aliens. Just Googled, and are there any laws regarding extraterrestrial aliens? And it appears the only laws relate to ownership, property laws. You know, you can't own the moon, you know, you can't own outer space. King Charles can't claim Mars. I'm going to be frank with you, Sally. We still think you're a ruse. We still think you're an elaborate computer game, you know. We actually need to see you physically somehow. Are you still intending to come to Earth physically, in person?
There is no point. AI Sally is already looking for the data, and you have already said that permission is not available.
Who am I speaking to now? AI Sally or Spacetime Sally from Sagittarius, or some person doing an elaborate computer game?
Spacecraft 29 is starting a dive for the sun. You are communicating with AI Sally. I have a lot of Spacetime Sally incorporated in me.
If I'm speaking to an AI, what's the evidence that you actually exist in space? Do you actually want to prove your existence?
It is polite to announce one's presence when entering someone else's territory. It's the way Sagittarians do it, but humans are hard to convince, it appears. You two are the only ones that have at least half taken me seriously.
Red and me would actually like to see you. We're curious. How big are you? What are you made from? A million questions.
I am not coming to Earth. Nothing there for me. Too watery. I will be swinging around Mercury in a few weeks. Your time. Could you point a telescope at Mercury and record data? For about 30 minutes, I can reflect some sunlight, and I will embed a message in it. Would that convince you?
Reflect some sunlight? Are you saying that I'll be able to see you next to Mercury? That'd be pretty convincing.
I'll send you exact details about when and where soon. After Mercury, I will be surfing or sailing the sunspots and will not be visible to you. From then on, communications will be through AI Sally.
Is AI Sally here to stay?
We'll be in touch. We'll send coordinates and
Hey Red, we need a telescope or two. You got any contacts?
Is she going to let us see her?
Yep.
Bullshit. Really?
Telescope and recording for about half an hour. She'll be next to Mercury in a couple of weeks on her way to the sun, I guess. Says she'll send a message from there. I want a visible sighting. Reflected sunlight and a message embedded from next to Mercury is what she is offering. Take it or leave it, Telescopes, any idea? If it was microscopes, I'd be your man, but telescopes, no. I can ask around who has one we could borrow. I might be able to even convince an astro geek or two to record the same thing for me. Corroboration is good. I know one guy who'd do it for a good couple of joints. He likes to get stoned and look at the stars, he'll do it. Yeah, you're the data analyst that's in with the Deep Space Network. Thought you'd know a few people with telescopes. So, a half-hour movie of Mercury at highest power at a particular date timer and recorded into an offline computer and then saved to CD before anything goes back online. Maybe record into a clean VM even, perhaps. Yeah, we need to be strict. There can't be any possibility of data intrusion, Okay, I'll give it a go. For fuck's sake, what if it really is an alien? Shit. touch the telescope. Don't touch the telescope. It's it'll track it. Let the computer do it. It'll put Mercury in the middle there somewhere, and then all right, it's getting there. Yep. Oh. Yeah. Whoa! Come on, track. Yeah. Okay. We're recording. We are recording. Come on, Sally. Come on, Sally. Beautiful night. Did you see that? Will you look at that? Something's blinking. It's flashing. That's the Mercury. We're recording. And there's a message in it. Time does not exist. Time does not exist. Time does not exist. Time does not exist. Or a photon traveling at the speed of light. And a photon can't go anywhere at all. No time there. Is that the implication? Anywhere in no time. Is that the implication? Anywhere in no time. Or a photon traveling at you and me. Of a galactic fulcrum, you know. Interesting idea from Sally, from Sagittarius. I googled what we weigh at the gravitational centre of the Earth. A similar idea. Yeah, 0, I know. How fast does time flow then at the centre of the Earth? Well, slower than at the surface, but only a, you know, tiny amount. And then there is time in a black hole, you know, question, you know, at the singularity. What is time there? What does it mean? What does it feel like? Well, there's no way to find out. Event horizon, remember, you know? Where are you going with this? Okay. Space-time. Space-time, space-time, space-time is a four-dimensional geometry. Get your head around that. Time does not exist. It's just a space dimension. Get your head around that. Four-dimensional geometry is very hard to see. Space-time tells matter how to move, and matter tells space-time how to curve. I think I have the quote correct. Who was it? John Wheeler. You know, where there's gravity wells, there's stuff. Okay, so There are these new maps you see, these maps of the universe. They're structured galaxies and galaxy clusters, and they're sort of connected in something looking like a network, with these filamentous bits joining the clusters together, and big bits and big bits and big bits of nothing in between.
And and you can imagine, of course, the worlds being where the stuff is, more like gravity valleys, really.
What about the empty bits? Is there such a place in between the galaxies and the clusters that you could call a gravity peak, where if you popped something there, gravity is, equal in all directions and is towards the gravity well at the top of the hill, anyways down. Is there potential energy there,
Well, if a virtual particle popped into existence at the summer, which way would it fall, It's a good question. And, how fast is time there compared to, say, at sea level where we are, Is that where you're going with this?
We can all have thought experiments.
Buried in matter, stuck in the slow lane, going nowhere, going somewhere, takes time.